Let's get going with that first session, though. We're opening up today with the athletes. So if you could give a nice round of applause, please, as they join us on the stage. First up, we have the three-time world champion, Peter Mankoch. And joining on stage, we have the Olympic swimmer, Sabine Journey, who now works for the International Olympic Committee. And joining us via video link, which you may have seen a short while ago, I'm delighted to say that we are joined by Yusra Mardini, who is a two-time Olympian. Amazing stuff. Thank you all so much for being here today. And as I mentioned, at the end of the session, you'll all have an opportunity to fire some questions at our panel. Thanks so much for being here today. As a nice little sort of icebreaker first, obviously we're here to talk. I think there's a microphone there for you, actually. There you go. You can share it between you. As a nice little icebreaker, let's let everybody feel a little bit at ease. Obviously, life as an elite swimmer can be a little bit different to those of us who just jump in the pool and try and splash around a little, but it doesn't always go to plan. What is the worst thing that's happened to you as an elite swimmer?
Well, as an elite swimmer, I don't think I had that many, but...
You had a good career.
Yeah. But as the most, let's say, embarrassing that stuck in my mind was when I was a younger swimmer at the national championships, and I swam my solo events, and then it was like 1 hour before the relay, so I was like, I'm not gonna have a wetsuit, so I put underwear on. And then for the relay, I was the first one for the backstroke. I had the coat around. I come, they whistle to undress, I do, and I'm in underwear in front of everyone.
Oh, no.
Shit. Luckily, it was at the home pool, so they gave me quickly that I had to change. Of course, when you try to do things quickly, it goes the opposite. But luckily, I had enough time, but that was, let's say, that it stuck in my mind, and even until now. So every time...
Scarred.
Yeah, every time before I go to swim, I triple check, do I have the swimsuit on or not?
I'm sorry to make you relive that.
Yeah.
How about for yourself, Sabine?
Good morning, everyone. I have so many. Not like you. I have so many. But if I had to choose one, it would be, I think, World Championships Rome 2009. I had 5 races in total. And in the 53, there was a new, actually 2009, it was a new launch of LZR Speedo wetsuits. And I was so excited to wear it. So I had the one with the button on. That was prohibited later, but so I stepped on the blocks and it cracked open all the way. And I looked at the technical official and he said, "Cosa ti posso fare?" You know, like what do I do? And yeah, so I had to race, but luckily it was only 53. So, but I mean the water was inside, so I just jumped and swam with an open, very wide open wetsuit. Yeah.
And they took a long time to get into those as well, didn't they? It was about 45 minutes. Yusra, how about for yourself? Hopefully many positive memories from swimming, but yeah, it doesn't always go right on race day.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today. And yeah, swimming, I think us swimmers, we have a love-hate relationship with the water. I definitely did not like waking up very early in the morning to jump into cold water. That was something that was challenging every time. But we, at the same time, when we got out of the pool after practice, it was just really hard feeling, I would say. But one moment where I was honestly, it was really sad for me is I went to my first World Championships in Turkey, I think in 2012, I would say, and I was really young. I was 13 or 12, I'm not sure, and I ended up not finding the call room, so I ended up missing one of my races, and I was crying my eyes out, but then I ended up swimming a Syrian record in another race, so that kind of balanced it out for me.
It fired you up for the other races.
Yeah.
As you said, and just throw in, mine was miscounting on 400 meter freestyle short course. That's a lot of lengths to count. I finished at 350, but I hadn't finished. It happens. Sorry, I gave you the silent one, didn't I?
Yeah, it's the silent one. Hey, yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, it happens to everyone.
Thank you for making me feel better. Oh, great. Okay. Look, obviously, we're here to celebrate all things swimming. Tell us a little bit, Pete, to begin with, about your journey getting in. We were having a little bit of a chat before. There was, it may not have happened for you, despite all of your talent. There was a moment in your childhood there where you had to take a chance.
Yeah, in Slovenia we had a program that every in the kindergarten already had I think it was 2 or 3 week course, and then they ranked us, of course, how good you swim. And I got sick in between, so when I came back I was like, oh, I don't know where I was, and I just went to the second quality group, although then I remembered I was the third. And at the end of the program, the clubs checked first and second group and invited us to swimming. So if I did not do a mistake and just go to a better group than I was, probably I would not even be here. So it happens. It happens.
Took a chance and it worked out. How about for yourself? Tell us, I mean, did you always love the water from when you were a little girl?
According to my parents, I really liked the water since I was 2, but since I don't remember when I was 2, I really hated it when I was 4. I was really scared of the water. That's what I remember. And then when I was 6, I mean, my mom is a good swimmer, so that's how I started. And there, I mean, the only pool that was available was 18 meters length. So that was my earliest memory, maybe, swimming with my mom. And then like leaving the wall a little bit, trying like be so proud of myself to float. And then yeah, but I think there was not many sports available. So I'd say swimming was one of the sports that was there. But my goal, I mean, I always dreamt of being a gymnast, to be honest. But then swimming happened, and it worked.
You chose the right side.
I think so.
We certainly do as well. And for yourself, Yusra, many people will obviously be familiar with your story in recent years, but tell us a little bit about growing up, perhaps the challenges that you overcame and your love for the sport, where it came from.
It came actually from my family. Most of my father's side's family, they used to swim. They were talented. I remember my dad telling me every time how annoying it was that my uncle was better than him in butterfly. So he made me a butterflyer, and I really loved it. But yeah, in general, I kind of have a similar experience to Sabine, because I remember literally running out of the water and hiding under my mom's chair. I don't remember liking the water at all. But then slowly I started to get better, and I started to become more competitive. I started wanting to be better than my sister, and then better than the older girls. And I just really liked to thrive and to compete, and I liked having a group. I know that in swimming you compete alone, but you can never do it without your team, and I think that's the beauty of it. And that is what I got taught since I was young, is to share the knowledge that I have, to have friends in the pool, to learn how to lose. So I did have a really incredible experience. I mean, especially growing up in Syria, we always had sunshine, so it was really cool to train outside most of the time.
Better conditions than we have here to swim outdoor swimming, I'd imagine, definitely. Go to Sabine next. What do you think is key to kind of changing that and transforming that mindset where you are, a scared child or frightened of the water, to sort of embracing it a little bit more and sort of following that journey through? What are the kind of key things you think maybe you experienced that helped you find that love for the water?
I mean, you don't think about it much now. I like it, or whether you like it or not. I mean, I think yes, I was scared of the water a bit, and one of my first memories actually is slapping a coach in the face because he tried to force my head underwater. But then I really wanted to not to compete for. I don't consider myself as a competitive person. I really like making friends and connection, and really, for me, swimming, I mean, that's what we're here for as well. Swimming is way beyond the sport itself. It's a life skill, it's a lifestyle. And I mean, then later I witnessed how it shaped my personality, my life, my career. And how come you don't like it? Of course you love swimming, and then it becomes a lifestyle. So in the end, as I said, you don't think really much about it. Do I hate it or like it? As Yusra said, it's a love-hate relationship, of course. Having to wake up, but I mean the dedication that it teaches, dedication, discipline, time organization. So everything about it is not really the sport or putting your head in the water. So I think we all here know that swimming is not just about a race, or I mean 50 free is less than half a minute, you know. We're not here because of only that. Like there's a message that there's something that we want to give to the world. There's something that we believe that we could change. I mean, unite the world with swimming.
Absolutely, great sentiment. Peter, obviously we spoke about your journey into swimming. Let's now take a look at one of your highlights from 2008.
Old.
You remember? Here we go.
Peter Mankoc from Slovenia, personal best time of 50.6, bronze medalist in last year's European Championships. Off they go, Swanepoel it was, who was off the blocks quickly in lane 3. From the top, it's his teammate Burmester, then Sportsov, Swanepoel, as I mentioned, in 3, Pine, Mankoc, Subarats, Munoz and Dunford. Through the first turn they go, and coming up in lane number 3, perhaps it might be Swanepoel leading Pine, and now going through Mankoc. He's a big, strong man, is Mankoc. Mankoc in lane 5 at the halfway mark. He's half a second outside world record pace, but he leads Pine and Swanepoel.
Mankoc still ahead. Pine will be wanting to really push through into this turn and make sure he can make his move. The two Kiwis not quite up there, but anything can happen in the last 25 metres.
Well, Mankoc has this race to himself. He would need to do something radically wrong from here to lose it. It looks like a gold medal for Slovenia. Pine trying to get to him, but Mankoc it is. Mankoc.
Yeah, a round of applause. What a performance.
Thank you.
And a clear victory in the end. How did it feel kind of, I know you said at the beginning, it was a few years ago now, but how does it feel to kind of relive it and watch these moments again?
Yeah, I remember a lot of it.
The pain at the end.
Yeah, one of the things I remember, this was the first time I swam in the Speedo swimsuit, and it was not even mine. Mark Foster said, I'm not going to use it, so here, you can have it. And okay, I am tall, but Mark Foster was taller, stronger, so the suit was a little bit too big for me. So I never was in water before with it. I jump in, I feel on the leg doing like this, so shit, it broke. But luckily, everything went fine, and I must say that for me, this was the best race on the exits from underwater. Sure. This I got, I don't think I ever managed to get so on point. And one of the results was, I think I was 200th of the European at that time, but I was happy. That was my only let's say, my only gold medal that was not IM. Yeah.
Phenomenal performance. I mean, when you spoke about your journey getting into the sport, I mean, when you've been through all of those hard times, everyone has difficult days, training sessions, ones where they don't want to get up at 5 in the morning and train or go again in the evening. How much does it kind of make it all worthwhile when you're able to celebrate moments like that?
Well, I don't think there's a swimmer in the history of our sport that didn't go through, I want to quit. I bet from Michael Phelps to the little kids, I had two times this. One time was when I was, I think, 13, 14. And I just like, I don't want to do this. One of the problem was when I was 10, 11, when everybody was really little, I won everything. So me as a competitor, going from winning everything to being third, fourth, I'm not doing this. So it was a year of struggle. I wanted to quit. I had right people around me. I think that without the right people around me, I was really lucky, from the family to the coaches, that they said, do something else, but keep swimming. Yeah. Do cycling, I like the basketball, do this, but keep on swimming. So it was a year and a half of struggle, and then just like in one practice like this stuff changed direction. And the second time, I was already a world record holder. I think it was in 2003, 2004 training camp. We were in Flagstaff, and I was on one side of the pool. My staff was the other. Like, I'm done. I'm going there, picking up, going to the airport, and home. And in that 50 meters through my head went, you've been training like an idiot for 20 years. You haven't reached your peak. Why throw it away? And I did a turn and continued. So these were the two moments that I wanted to quit. And it's always ups and downs. And I think this prepares you also great for life.
Well, I was going to pick up on that. I mean, how much from life skills do you pick up from coming through those moments and showing that power of perseverance that you can take beyond the pool into the working world as well?
I think swimming as a sport gives you such a great life skills, and one of them is you're prepared to do the tough stuff. Get up in the morning, going through hardship. You have still, although like they said, it's individual sport, without a team you ain't going through it. You need a team because you're gonna have hard times, and it's always nice if you have people around you that help you through the hard times. And I can now I'm teaching the high school kids at the sports gymnasium in Estonia, and this is basically what, for me, it's more life skills through swimming, not just swimming. So from being on time to take responsibilities to actually use your brain, what you're doing. And this is very, very important. I remember when I went a little bit off the swimming, I went into the marketing at some firm, and the meeting was at 3:45, so it was 3:38. And I said to my colleagues, in 7 minutes, there's a meeting, and everybody started laughing. I was like, what, 38, 40, at 45, nobody's gonna, in swimming, if you have on Saturday at 4:43 the race,
You're there.
it's at 4:43, not 4:44, not 4:42. Nobody cares about that. 4:40. So I think these points really help you later in life. And I also talk with a lot of basketball coaches. They liked ex-swimmers the best. Nothing was hard for them.
A great message. We'll pick up on that a little bit more with yourself and life after swimming shortly. But obviously that event that we just showed was Manchester 2008. Your first event.
Yes.
Yeah, what were your memories of it?
Yeah. It was my first 2008, so I'm honored to sit next to you. It was my first World Championships, and I was 13 years old.
Wow.
So I was the youngest competitor, and I was looking at all of you guys and like, wow. Yeah, I think it was also my first time on a flight, first time everything. So that's why I remember the neighborhoods of Manchester, the buildings and things. When you travel nowadays, you don't remember everything. You don't remember your time on the flight. You're busy, you're doing things, you're working. But on that flight, I remember everything. How it took off, because I was really excited to be on a plane. I had never been on a flight before. So to be on a plane for the first time at a World Championships, it was incredible. And I will also mention that I found out a few days ago that it was Nick's first event, also with BBC. So
I wasn't swimming though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was poolside interviewing people. But yeah.
But still, so we started the same journey,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it was amazing. So it's my hometown in Manchester. So yeah, great we were all there and finally meet all these years later. And just before I come to yourself, Yusra, what I was going to say is, your first World Championships at that age, how surreal was that as an experience, but also in the context of the journey that you'd been through to get to that point and making it all feel worthwhile?
The journey
it hadn't
never,
been easy.
of course, no, and the journey never ended there or started there, of course. But I mean, of course, growing up in a pool that is only 18 meters length and it was only open in summer.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, when I was 12 or 13, I had Facebook, I had access to the external world, so I knew what swimming looked like in Europe. And, sometimes I just wish that I had a pool and a coach and some, that I don't have to, or I wish that my only struggle was waking up in the morning and just go to the pool, because I had to, in Bethlehem there's no access to safe water sometimes, or so when I was 12, I said my dream is going to the Olympics. I said it at school, and my friend were like, yeah, sure. I mean, my dream is going to Disneyland, and my friend answered. So it felt like really a dream. But when at 13, when I was at my first World Championships, I said, well, I remember telling my mom that I think this is going to change my life, and my mom said, yeah, I think so too, but let's see how that goes, but never leave your studies, you have to study. So for me, swimming was never an obligation. I became obsessed with it, to be honest. And it took me a while to understand, to leave that obsession, because when you don't have access to, which is like simple, when you don't have access to swimming, that's all what you want to do. And I really fought to get that. Yeah. So at 16, I had a wonderful opportunity from the Olympic Solidarity. So I got a scholarship to move to Spain. That's where I practiced in the High Performance Center, Car Sant Cugat in Spain. I see Spanish presence here. So that was a life-changing. But I was only 17, so we're talking about a different struggle. So first struggle was to fight for my life, fight for my dreams. But then at 17, to leave everything behind, everything I know behind, family, friends, everything, to adapt to something new that I've never done before. So that was a whole other chapter.
We'll come to shortly, absolutely. Yusra, for yourself, I'm sure that there's many things, I know you know Sabine and have spoken many times, there'll be many things that you can relate to there. Your major championships debuts, I think, coming up more like 2012 time. Tell us about your journey to that stage, what you came through, and the power of perseverance you had to show.
Yeah, I mean, we do share a similar experience, but at that point, I had a very, very normal life. I had, I would like to say, normal training facilities. We had an Olympic size pool, so I was lucky enough to have my father as my coach. And at that point, I was already training with the national team. It was a year after the war started in Syria, so it was very, very new to me. I was a child. I was just trying to understand what was going on. And I think swimming and sports in general is a powerful thing to do in life, because for me, it was an escape. For me, it was the home that I can take everywhere. And I felt safe no matter what happened outside of the pool, because my coach, who was my father, taught me how to separate between everything in life and swimming. Once you're in the pool, it's about your performance in the pool. It's about everything. It's about racing. It's about everything that is related to the water, and you can leave every concern you have outside of the pool. Inside of the pool, you're an athlete. I'm not your father. I'm your coach. You don't call me dad. So I really think that gave me the skills that I have in life now, in terms of learning how to fail, in terms of, as example, missing the race and then the next day swimming a Syrian record. You learn how to move on in life, and you learn how to see the positive in every situation, and that's exactly what happened even when the war was going on. I did leave swimming for a whole year. So yeah, I agree that we all swimmers thought about leaving, and for me it was because of war. We were moving from an apartment to another. Everyone in my family were working just to afford food on the table. So for me, dreaming about the Olympics did not seem reasonable at that moment, although I was thinking about swimming and Michael Phelps all the time, but it was just not possible for me. I left the swimming for a whole year, and then I got back to swimming because I realized how valuable it is to me, and how many life lessons swimming gave me, basically.
Absolutely, important message. Many, as I mentioned before, will be familiar with a good portion of your story and background. For those that aren't, here's a little video trailer from the Netflix documentary and film, The Swimmers.
One day, I want to swim in the Olympics.
The conflict in Syria has escalated out of control.
We need to go.
He says he can get us on a boat to Greece. There's no more room in the boat!
We're too heavy! The boat will sink! We need to swim!
what you both did in the scene.
She got embarrassed. She's the superhero. The Olympics feel so far away right now.
I believe you can do it.
We need to get to Germany. You're not allowed to give up.
I heard you both had to escape a war. We're forming an Olympic refugee team for Rio. We have a lot of work to do.
You should do it.
You're so much more than an Olympian.
Ready?
Swim for me.
For everyone who died trying to find a new life.
Swim for all of us.
We have a home. Swimming is home.
Obviously, an incredibly moving trailer for us to see, and obviously highly recommend anyone who hasn't seen the film already to go and check it out on Netflix. Yusra, obviously you will have seen that many, many times and obviously lived through the experience yourself. What memories does it bring back about what you went through during that time and, you know, the power of swimming and importance of it to your life as a life skill?
Yeah, swimming is really and was always my home. So it did help me with the trauma. It helped me with escaping all my emotions, or basically channeling my negative emotions to make it something and to reach my dreams. So for me, even when I went through the hardest thing, which was war, which was abandoning my home, not knowing if I'll ever see my family again, leaving with my older sister, the thing that was in the back of my mind was always swimming, and it gave me the strength to have hope, and this is something very powerful. And I think it is because of how strict my father was as a coach and how soft my mother was as a mother. So I really appreciate how they raised me, and I appreciate how I would complain all the time about how tough my father was as a coach. And then I really understood that he was teaching me life, not just swimming. And I think a lot of athletes would agree that the right coach will stay with them their whole life. Even Sven, who was my coach during Rio 2016, is a very close friend. He's the co-founder of my foundation. So I think the friends that you have in swimming, they're friends for life. You get to learn about resilience, you get to learn about how to fight back. Yeah, of course I got sad, and of course I was in situations where I really did not know what to do. So in that moment in the boat, when the water was getting in the boat, and it was a moment where we just needed to act. And if I wasn't a swimmer, I don't know if I would be brave enough to jump in the water and try to save other people's lives. So if I wasn't a swimmer, I really would not know what to do. I was 17 at the time. I think I took my strength from another swimmer who was my sister. So it really, really matters that we have sport, and for me specifically swimming in my life, because it really shaped the person that I am today.
What did it mean to you to be able to go to the Olympics in Rio and in Tokyo, and also to have this documentary film made to get your story out there and inspire the millions that it has?
Oh my gosh, it was incredible. In the beginning, I was hesitant about the idea of being in a refugee Olympic team, because I wanted people to understand that I worked for this opportunity my whole life. I didn't want to be labeled a refugee. And then when I competed with the team and I got to know them and I got to know their stories and saw how hopeful and inspiring they were, I realized that I actually have the power to do whatever I want with this word and to try and change the perception about what a refugee is. Say, hey, we are refugees, but we have dreams. We were already doctors, engineers, swimmers back home, and we just want to continue doing what we love here in Europe. So in general, I realized swimming made me realize, and the Olympics made me realize that it's not always about a gold medal. Sometimes you have to do something way bigger than that. And for me, it is exactly what I'm doing now, advocating for millions of people around the world, getting to create a foundation where I get to help refugees get access to sports and education worldwide. I think that is worth a million gold medals, so to me. So in general, it was an experience I'll never forget, and I really am so happy that the team was created and that a lot of people also watched the swimmers. Fun fact, I got a lot of offers from Hollywood already in 2016 during the Olympics, and I said no. Because I wanted to live my dream. I wanted to be able to focus on swimming and have fun. And a lot of people told me that no one's going to be interested in the story after Rio, and they were, and the movie happened. So I am really, really glad to see it and to see how much people loved it.
Amazing stuff. I think of a round of applause. Swimmers capable of anything, in the pool and out of it. Obviously, you've both experienced Olympic Games as well. Sabine, first of all, talk us through that experience and what it means to be able to go to a Games, see those Olympic rings when you've dreamt of them for so many years. London 2012.
It was 2012, but I also count 2010 Youth Olympics as well. But before we get to that, I mean, I'm inspired by everything Yusra is talking about, and it's, in summary, it's setting boundaries and discipline. You know what you want to do, and that's also, it didn't come, swimming actually shaped the personality and shaped, making decisions and knowing what you want. So that's a good thing that we don't have to give for granted, and something we have. Okay, as Olympics, I watched the Olympics, I think 2000 Sydney, the first time, but I don't remember. I think I remember more 2004 in Athens, and I saw swimming, and I said that's where I want to be. And then, yeah, sure, everyone would know. And then 2010 Youth Olympic Games, I looked at the rings and I took a photo with the rings, like I still have it, me looking at the rings, and I said, that's where I want to be in 2 years. And then when I made it happen, I think I really had a big obsession about swimming. So I was really nervous. I had done a lot of work with sports psychologists to visualize my race and everything. So the moment of the race, I had only one race. In London, I remember every second because I had known what each second I was going to do, what I was going to think of. So that really calmed down how nervous I was. I mean, it's a mixed feeling of I'm proud, of course, that I made it, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I needed to enjoy it more. That's why I wanted to go to Rio. It didn't happen in the end. I transitioned my career in 2015. But I think it was a mix of, I think I missed I wanted to enjoy it more because I was really obsessed about my performance and everything. And when I look at world champions and talking about, okay, let's enjoy, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's what I needed too.
Still very cool to be able to call yourself an Olympian. There aren't many people who can do that. Peter, you were nodding along there when some of the games were mentioned. Obviously, you went to several yourself. Was it 5? Or was it 6? Five.
From
Amazing.
Atlanta 96 to London 2012.
Yeah, an absolutely amazing stretch. Let's give that a round of applause, please. 5 Olympics. It's incredible. Look, you will have encountered so many swimmers and had so many experiences during those many years at the very top of the sport. What does it mean to kind of hear these stories and know what is capable within that swimming community, all the different backgrounds that are coming together to make those games, all from a sport and swimming perspective?
Yeah, I'm just lucky that I didn't have such a tough childhood. I'm so grateful about that. I see Olympics a little bit controversially different than 99% of the people.
Understood.
Yeah, I like that it was said that you do not enjoy Olympics. You don't have time to enjoy Olympics. You're there to do a job. And this is what I think most of the people do not understand, that sportsmen do not have much of Olympics. Everybody else has much more. Yes, you're there, you're proud, you're Olympian, but you're there to do, and when you're done, next day, you're on the plane back home. You're not there to enjoy stuff. So
You need to stay for a few days and have the party.
it doesn't, at least with Slovenia, it did not happen.
Some people have clearly experienced that.
You're done, go home. So in this kind of way, for me, Olympics, yes, it's the greatest event. It's where different cultures, different sports come together from these dining halls and stuff like that. You have a chance to also see, if you have a day or two. Unfortunately, I had usually many events, so I didn't have that much chance to see other sports. It's a great experience, and unfortunately, it's a little bit too much on the focus on the results, because let's be honest, you remember who won, who was second, you already almost don't remember, and God forbid you were fourth. So it's a little bit too cruel. And that's why we have to, I think, in sports in general, not like, again, not gold medals, it's great, but that's not the most important thing. The more important thing is to combine, not hang out, but create a community that has common goals, common visions, and experience this kind of stuff. Because if we just look at the gold medals in the men's side, Michael Phelps took so many that there's not a lot of people that got them. So in this kind of way, I think it's a good goal, but I don't think it should be the only focus. I think the focus of life lessons and preparing, because in the end, everybody stops swimming. So too many people I saw after the end of career, what do I do now?
Well, that's what we're going to discuss next, actually. So well transitioned for me. I mean, how much
we didn't practice.
Yeah, we didn't at all. Yeah, how much of that message do you put into, the young people that you work with coming through now?
I always try to be as honest as I can. Sometimes they don't like it too much, but I never promise something that it's not achievable. I always tell them, I'll get you the best I can do, and I believe I can get you the best you can be while you're with me. And not just because if I have high school kids, if your best result is while you're swimming with me, I failed, because you should not reach your top in high school. My goal is to give you the gifts, the tools, the knowledge that you can succeed later. Now, are you going to be first? Are you going to be 50th? Are you going to be 100th? You cannot say this before, but I want them to have the tools, not just swimming tools, life tools, because I think this is more important than just pure swimming tools. Sports, swimming, it's temporary. You're gonna have to live on. And one of the happiest things was the girls that I was coaching, like 3 girls finished last year high school, and they wrote me such a nice long thank you letter for everything, how basically my teaching influenced how they see life going forward also after swimming. So this was one of the nicest things.
Congratulations, long may that continue.
Thank you.
Sabine, we'll come to your post-swimming career now, but let's have a quick video first, which gives a little bit of an idea of what you're working on the project. The Olympic Refuge Foundation.
This is a team like no other. A team that's creating change across the world. Leaders, businesses, coaches, athletes, displaced young people, united by the Olympic Refuge Foundation. And one goal: to rebuild young life through sport. Because when your life is in limbo and you never feel so alone, finding refuge in a team means everything.
Tunasahau kama tuko wa Refuge, juu tukicheza tunasikia furaha nyingi, yuko sasa tuko nje tu.
On this team, we hone our talents. We build skills that last forever. We dream of what we can achieve. We belong.
Çok mutluyum. Burada arkadaşlarımla eğleniyorum.
Powered by the Olympic spirit, everyone can play a part to make sure no young person is left out, so we can feel at home again, thrive again, and shape our own futures. That's why this is a team like no other.
Sabine, tell us what it means to be part of a project like that.
In one word, everything. I mean, yes, to be able to not only put all my experience or when I speak about studying or just working experience in there, but it's a life experience that I'm putting, like all my parts are working in this. So it's just sad to begin with that we think of more than 100 million displaced people around the world, and we believe in a society where everyone belongs through sport. And that's the message that we're giving today, right? Like swimming is way beyond, again and again. As Yusra said, which I'm such a huge fan to say that, and I always say that, is swimming is home. So I think for everyone here in this room, swimming is home for us. So that's something that unites us, that's something that is in common for everyone. So for me to work and to be able to give something, I have to be honest, I do think about it every day. I'm like, that's not enough. But in the end, there's so much that we can do, only so much that we can do, I mean. So I try, and if it impacts, if it has a small impact or big or whatever, I think it's worth it to add something, to add a little stone. I think we can all do that through our jobs and through our daily lives, and especially that we sit in an Olympic movement in the end, and a sport movement, that if we could add something to it, that means a lot. So if we all do the same thing a little bit, I think the world can be a better place through sport.
Absolutely. It seems like the passion, the commitment that you had as a swimmer is very much something you've taken into your career out of the pool as well.
Yes, definitely. So he said you don't enjoy being in the Olympics. I mean, I know that sometimes work could be tough, or waking up for a commitment every day. But that's if you want something, you work hard for it, I think. So it's all about dedication. And again, it's just like swimming. And something important, actually, that growing up as swimmers, now we speak much more about career transition. But back in the day, swimmers maybe thought, okay, what's my career transition? What can I do? How can swimming shape my life? And we only maybe thought of becoming coaches or technical officials.
Or media, maybe.
Or media, of course. But I mean, there's so much more than that, right? There's
many more things.
Yeah, exactly. You relate whatever you like, whatever hobby, it could be related to your swim career. Yeah.
Absolutely, some great messages. Yusuf, we'll come to you again in a second. I'm conscious we are, because we've been speeding through time, this fascinating chat between us all. I'm just going to open it up. If anyone has any questions for the panel, would anyone like to fire anything at Peter, Sabine, or Yusra? Please raise your hand and we will get a microphone over to you. I'm more than happy to carry on, but I thought I'd give you a chance to chat as well. Anybody going to be bold enough? Come on. I think they're a bit shy first thing.
It's like a press conference in the swimming event. Any questions? Quiet. No. And then want to go, you get the chance before, so I think it's the same.
No problems. Okay, well, I will fire one at Yusra. Just tell me a little bit then about the work that you're doing now. You mentioned your foundation and the difference that you want to make to people around the world from the experiences you've had.
Absolutely. Everything I learned from swimming and education helped me shape the person that I am today. And because of that, I thought, how can I give back? I am in a position, again, like the story, the swimmers, is one out of a million story. That's the best outcome a refugee can have. Not each and every one of us gets the same chances, unfortunately. And I want to make it possible for kids, women, and men to be able to do sports in camps and to give them the simplest human rights, which are education and sports. There are incredible organizations working on first aid and everything that's necessary, from water, blankets, food. So for me, I thought that I could thrive in the fields education and sports. And one thing that I didn't mention is that sports also helped me connect again with people. When I got to Germany, I did not know how to speak German, and I did not know how to understand the set I had to swim in German. And I did not feel like I could do it, but then I went to the pool and I met the coach, met the swimmers. They were very friendly, they were very sweet. And then, they explained to me what breaststroke is in German, butterfly, freestyle, backstroke, and then that was it. That's all I needed to understand to feel like I belong. And sports is a universal language. When we go to the Olympics, why is it so special? Because we're all competing, we're all going after our dreams. It doesn't matter where you come from. When you're on the starting block, it's just Yusra Mardini against, let's say, Sabine. It's not about anything complicated. It's just sports, and it's about the spirit of sports. And when you walk in the stadium, this feeling of achievement and proudness, and knowing that yes, it's your dream, but there were so many people involved in achieving this dream and helping you to get where you are today. You can do anything in life. If you could get to the Olympics, for me, it gave me the idea and the confidence that I would be able to do anything in life as long as I am willing, as long as I work hard. And as long as I take the first step, the next steps will follow, of course, with hard work, but they will definitely follow.
Amazing stuff. To the pair of you, when you're speaking to young swimmers, people in sports, what message do you kind of give to them about, riding those highs and lows, and that ultimately anything's possible if you put your mind to it?
Well, when you speak to, it depends on what age you're speaking to. I wouldn't go to a swimmer and say, swimming is going to shape your career. No, so when I'm speaking to children really like to copy. So whatever it is, eating healthy or doing something, so they really like to copy something that they see you doing happily. So if they see me happily swimming, they will happily swim. If they see me scared, they will get scared. So that's for children. But then message that I get, it's follow your dreams, but it's very easy to say, of course. But it's stay dedicated, and of course, and always have something that you want to do, because as he mentioned, no matter, in the end, we're all swimmers, and no one is gonna be rich or even make a life of swimming. We know that. So always have something to focus on aside from swimming, not only for the sake of career transition, but also to have something else. So when I was training for the Olympics, I was also training 7 hours a day, but also studying almost 10 hours a day. So it was really hard to, of course, to combine, and I didn't, be in the sun or be out for many months, because my school was it's an Olympic training center, so we have school and swimming pool. But in the end, I knew that I wanted to achieve both or stay in both. There are different messages, children or adults or people who are policymakers, of course. And the message also is to never underestimate the resources that you put in the development of sport. That always. So never regret. Resources are really, you're developing something that's way beyond. So for me, development is the most important thing, and to be an example for also, of course, developing countries, different societies, of course. So in the end, lead by example.
Absolutely. Peter, I was going to say good luck following that. With that message.
She finished with my starting. So I strongly believe that with whatever level you're working on, you should always be an example. So you cannot expect kids, high school kids, swimmers, you cannot expect something from them if you're not willing to do it yourself. So if you're not on time, you cannot expect them to be on time. Well, one of the rules I have that I teach them first, when you're at the pool, you do not sit. If you're at the pool, do a warm-up, take care of your shoulders, do extra stuff. Nobody's complaining if you do a few abs more or a few back exercises more. So I think this is that us as in charge of, let's say, new generations, we always have to be example, from behavior to how you approach things, to smile, not to look like, just want to murder somebody. Although they say that I have this bee face when I'm not thinking of anything, so a lot of people are scared of me, although I think I'm a very nice coach.
Gentle giant,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you think you are.
Yeah. Well, that's like my wife says that I look like a German dogga, that Great Dane, but I like a Chihuahua. But in general, what I try to teach them also, it's broaden your horizon. So, for example, when we have school holidays, yeah, I'm there, you can train with me, but I encourage them to go back, to experience different stuff, to go to different coaches, because in the end, yes, what I believe in what I say, but this is not the only thing in the world. Broaden your horizons, and not just in swimming, in general, and I think this is sport, and especially swimming, since we have so many countries competing, it's not like most of the winter sports that it's Europe and 2 extra. You can experience different philosophies, different cultures, and I think this is what makes you richer, what makes you more experienced and better prepared for the world, because in the end, the world is getting more and more international. So it's easier if you already experienced this before, how to handle it in later life.
Brilliant stuff. One of the main things that you mentioned there was the importance of keeping to time, and I am conscious that we're soon running out of it in this session. Just one quick sweep. Has anyone got a question? Or we will shortly wrap up. No worries. I'm sure you've given such great information already. They don't know how to follow up. Fantastic. I'll just finish off though. Yusra, we're here at a Learn to Swim conference. What does Learn to Swim mean to you?
Learn to swim means giving a chance to a child anywhere in the world. It means that the parents should believe in their children's dreams, should show up for them, and should give them the confidence to be there, to learn how to swim, whether that's for fun or whether that's to protect their lives or whether that's to be the next Olympic medalist. For me, I went to the Olympics and swimming literally saved my life. So it is a skill that does teach your kids how to live, how to fight, and how to be a really good human being, to be honest. And it keeps them off a lot of really bad things. It's just sports. And yeah, it's gonna be the friends that they're gonna make are gonna be their friends for life. The experience that they're gonna have, again, whether competitive or not, it's gonna be something that they're gonna remember for the rest of their lives, whether it's that summer camp or not. So in general, take them to the pool. They might not like it, like me and Sabine in the beginning, but I think it's worth trying a second and a third time before giving up.
Could not agree more. Fantastic stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please give all three of our panelists today a huge applause. Peter, Sabine and Yusra, thank you so much. We'll wrap up in 2 seconds. Just stay there for 2 moments, if that's okay. We just have 2 little gifts to give to you as a thank you for being involved today. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you. Really appreciate it.